Speaker Setup Haven by Fosi Audio. Hello and thank you for clicking on this video. I'll be talking about Fosi audio devices specifically for speaker setup. I'll be talking about the ZA3, ZD3 and MC101 and we'll be going through them individually. But before we dive deeper, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Melbourne Hi-Fi Audio for sending these devices as loaners for me to test and share my experience with all of you. However, as always, all thoughts and opinions are my own and are not influenced by any parties. If you're interested in this or any other products that are featured on this channel, I'll leave some links in the description section of this video for you to check out. And if you've been enjoying my content, I hope you'll hit that like and subscribe button as they'll help the channel a lot and I'd appreciate your support. The unboxing for these devices are pretty straightforward, apart from the ZD3. The ZA3 comes with a power brick, we'll talk about the size later. The MC101 comes with a power brick and a Bluetooth antenna, and the ZD3 comes with a USB cable, a power cable, Bluetooth antenna and a controller. So each of them have their own dedicated part in the setup. So starting first with the Fosi Audio ZA3, which is a straight up speaker amp and it costs about $129 US. No fuss, no frills. At the front, you have a switch to toggle between RCA or XLR inputs and another switch on the side to toggle between mono and stereo, and a big orange volume knob in the middle, which is also the power button, which you have to press and hold for a few seconds to turn on. At the back, you've got the left and right speaker outputs, subwoofer out, and XLR and RCA inputs with the power input and 12-volt trigger in as well. And that's pretty much it. You can buy two of these if you want them to power each of your speakers by hitting that mono switch, but one thing to note is that you'd have to find a way to store the power brick that it comes with because it is huge. The ZA3 unit itself is compact on its own, but coupled with the power brick, it's like almost having two of these devices side by side. And the ZA3, despite its compact form factor, has some power. There's really nothing much more that's needed to be said about this device. It has one job and it does it exceptionally well. However, if you're looking for any other functions or features, you'd have to rely on the DAC for those features or even something else entirely. Speaking of which, introducing the Fosi Audio MC101, which is a $100 Bluetooth speaker amp, and this device is as straightforward as the ZA3 with the added Bluetooth feature. You would need a DAC to connect this amp if you wanted to hook it up to either your computer setup or any other setup, but it can connect to Bluetooth via your phone, so that doesn't require a dedicated DAC. So just running through the inputs and outputs, at the back you've got the input for power, left and right speaker outputs, and RCA input. At the front you've got a treble and bass control knob, a VU meter, and a switch to toggle between RCA and Bluetooth or to simply turn it off, and you have the volume control. It's a very simple and straightforward interface. The VU meter gives the overall look a bit of that retro feel, especially when it's turned on and you've got it running. Despite it being straightforward, the fact that you have a treble and bass adjuster for your speakers is something that not a lot of devices at this price point offers. And with this kind of form factor, if you're just starting into the speaker hobby, this device is as good as it gets. For maximum space saving, I'd pair this with the Neo Hippo DC10 DAC, hook this up to your computer via USB-C, connect it with the MC101 via RCA cables, and you'll pretty much have your speaker setup, and switching between the RCA and Bluetooth is so easy with a flick of the switch. I thought the bass and treble knob would just be something that's subtle, but the differences between low to max is pretty significant. So there's a lot of room to play with, and having that knob to adjust it on the fly is invaluable. Then the fact that it was able to power my speakers says a lot. Connected to my PC at 100% volume on the computer, I'm only at about 9 o'clock on the dial, so I've got plenty more headroom to play around with, but it may depend on where you're setting this up. It should be loud enough for a living room setup, but it also depends on how big your living room is. Just giving a quick comparison in terms of size, the power brick is almost about the same size as this device itself, but compared to other speaker amps, I was previously using the SMSL A0300, and in terms of value, this amplifier just has it all. It's a dedicated headphone amplifier, it's versatile, it's powerful, it's just been my go-to for the past year, so the SMSL would be that step up from the MC101 if you could still find this unit. But if you don't need the headphone component and you want to purely focus on the speaker aspect of your setup, the Fosi Audio MC101 can do no wrong, and it's about half the size and the price of the SMSL A0300. Lastly, the MC101 or the ZA3 would need a companion to pair with, otherwise it will be useless on its own. Introducing the Fosi Audio ZD3, and this is pretty much a straight up DAC, coming in at about $220 US. Just taking a quick look at the design, I like how Fosi Audio is pretty consistent with the design theme, with having a large orange volume knob, and for this device there's a small screen on the side, so there's a bit of a symmetrical design going on there. At the back you have the XLR and RCA outputs, trigger in and out, coaxial input, HDMI ARC input, USB Type A input, Bluetooth, and a 12-volt power input. The features are pretty straightforward as well. Pressing and holding the volume button turns on the device, then pressing it once toggles between the input selections. You can pretty much control the input toggle from the volume knob itself. However, the controller that it comes with just adds media controls to the mix like pause and play. So to answer the question of if the ZD3 is the best choice in terms of being a DAC, and the answer is depending on your setup. If you care about having a consistent look and wanting a DAC that's clean and powerful, the Fosi Audio ZD3 ticks all the boxes. If you want something compact and you're on a budget and if you don't care for XLR outputs, the Neo Hippo DC10 just fits that description. Or if you want something with a bit more flavor, the Fosi Audio ZD3 V3 presents that option as well while being compact, but the Fosi Audio ZD3 is a bit more powerful, presents a much cleaner sound, and it just does the job better at being just a DAC than the DAC V3, but at least you have a warm sound, some bass features, and also a headphone output with the Fosi Audio ZD3 V3 for almost the same price as the Fosi Audio ZD3. In terms of value for money, I think they all present their cases and they all do their job extremely well, but the Fosi Audio MC101 really surprised me. It may not be as powerful as the Fosi Audio ZA3, but if you're looking for a desktop setup, it's more than powerful enough for that, and you have the added benefit of having a Bluetooth connectivity and some playability with the bass and treble control, especially if you're pairing it with a simple DAC like the Neo Hippo DC10. So that's my favorite device out of the bunch, but if you're looking to upgrade from that, the Fosi Audio ZA3 and ZD3 is a pretty solid combo and a pair that will satisfy a lot of people that's either starting their journey into this space or have been in this hobby for a while. However, that's all based on one man's experience, and I'm curious to know your thoughts. What are your thoughts on Fosi Audio products? I think they've been killing it and redefining the price bracket, but curious to know your opinions as well. A huge thank you to Melbourne Audio for this opportunity, and to all of you for watching. See you in the next video.